before I even knew songwriting was a thing, writing a song for her, but not knowing what I was doing.
I was not the sole writer of all of these songs on that album.
I'm mostly writing for other artists, just like trying to help them write what's on their heart, using our imaginations to go, what would we want this to sound like? A la which song can we hear? It's just doing it stripped down, bare bones, no track. It's just going to be a rough work tape. Some people, if you're visual, you could draw the melody that you're hearing.
Yeah.
Seeing where it dips, where it goes high. Who cares? Yes. It's a great story. We'll change the names. No one has to know. And they're like, they will know.
It can feel so hard to really be so vulnerable in what you're writing.
I think a lot of artists now are coming from a place of wanting to say something more than just, I love my voice and I want it to be heard. It gives them a chance to be like, this is what's on my heart.
Who is Kayliann, and how did you end up in this world of songwriting? Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. Almost a decade ago, I wrote my debut album that I released in Nashville, and it was called Me Plus You, and it's so cute, and I love all the songs that were on it, but I was not the sole writer of all of these songs on that album, and I have one of my co-writers from that album from almost a decade ago right here in the studio with me. Hello, Kayliann Lowe.
Woo, woo, woo. Hello.
Girl, it's been...
From afar. Hello from afar.
Yes, I know. Actually, we're not even that far apart. We're only like 4 or 5 hour drive apart. I should have just come down and we could have hung out in person. Next time we need to do that. But
yes,
it's so good to see you. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah. At least
I think COVID
8 years.
and like the pandemic just kind of warped time.
I know.
And I'm like, wait, what? Wasn't it just a few years ago?
Yeah. But it's like at least 8 to 9 years ago when we wrote all of these songs, when I had the pleasure to meet you and work with you. It was so fun. I learned so much from you. I'm so grateful that I got to be in the room with you and learn from you, because you were way more experienced than I was. I mean, you still are way more experienced now than I am now, but it was just such a pleasure to meet you and get to work with you. And
same.
We even got a little award together too. The John. I mean, it's not an award. It's more of a contest that we won. The John Lennon songwriting contest, right? With White Lies.
Hey, anything that has John Lennon in it, it's
a win. Absolutely. Actually, these 2 guitars that you can see right here, I got those because we won that contest. They sent me that stuff, and I was like, "Oh, well,
that's
thank
great." Yes. The real question is, do you play them?
Not once have I touched them, but they look pretty.
Hey, you know what? Little wall candy. Wall candy.
I can like strum basic chords, but for some reason, like the acoustic guitar has a pretty thick body, and the one that I'm used to playing has a much thinner body. And so now with the thick one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like playing out here. What is happening? I'm just not used to it because I'm such a small person,
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
Yes, you are. I do remember that. I could just. I mean, I'm not super tall. I'm 5'7", but
Oh yeah, no, I'm a midget next to you.
I could easily hug you.
Well, before we dig into everything else, can you tell us a little bit more how you got started with songwriting? And because you have written for other people, you do jingles, you record jingles as well. Like, who is Kayliann, and how did you end up in this world of songwriting?
A chameleon. I don't know. Well, no. So backstory, I grew up performing with my family. So we toured internationally. That was like our bread and butter. That's how we made money. And I'm the youngest of 7 children. And so like I literally grew up on the stage. And so I think because of that background, I grew to love like a variety of not just songs, but like styles and genres. And so that kind of influences how I write. And that's why I kind of joke saying like a chameleon, because it's not just like I only grew up on the Beatles or I only grew up on Tim McGraw, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was such a variety, like classical, bluegrass, Irish, jazz,
Wow.
country, pop, etc. Like, and so that kind of, before I even knew songwriting was a thing, that's what I was in the world of, was performing on stage. And it was like a production variety show. So singing, dancing, instrumental. And so did that for a gazillion years. And then when I was about 11, I think 11 or 12, my sister got married, and I found myself like writing a song for her, but not knowing what I was doing. I was just like, well, I'm in music. Like that's what we do. So I'm just putting my diary, so to speak, to a melody, right? Not having any clue that people do that for a living.
Yeah.
And that, you can actually like make money, and
It's a job, right?
it's a career. Yeah, like it's not just like a hobby. And so I started doing that, and at the time my family was performing in a show town called Branson, Missouri. So we were there for 10 years, and we would perform 6 days a week. And yeah, and so it allowed us to, like, time and opportunities to be able to write songs and then kind of try them out on the stage and see how the audience reacted and see what they liked, what they didn't, And then my brother Doug and I started writing more and started co-writing with other entertainers in town who also enjoyed writing songs. And it just kind of went from there. It still wasn't like I still didn't really understand like this could be what I do for the rest of my life, It was just more fun. Like I was making music. It was like jam sessions, so to speak, with people that I loved. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what we did. And then I'm trying to think, I wrote a Christmas song for my family, and it was like the title track for one of our Christmas albums called Coming Home. And there was I guess this is like, how long do you want the story?
Girl,
you can cut out what
give
you
me
don't
everything.
like, right? You can cut out what you don't need. But because my family was performing, there was some type of like performing agency in Nashville, and we were talking to them and trying to see like, hey, do we want to get on your guys's touring list, basically, and like tour to the places you would book us, etc. And the guy said, wait a second, what are your kids doing? And long story short, he said, you need to talk to my wife, who ended up being Charisse Boltori, who was over the songwriters at NSAI, the Nashville Songwriters Association International. And he said, you have got to talk to her. I think this will be really helpful. So even though we were talking for business in terms of like performing, it ended up connecting us with his wife. And we came to Nashville, met with her. And I brought these 2 songs, Laura, that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the next Martina McBride smash. Yeah. And I still remember to this day, like playing it for her live, like feeling so confident. They had this beautiful, like, grand piano in NSAI right downtown on Music Row. And I'm like playing it for her, and it was called Spring Cleaning. And it's like, I'm spring cleaning you out of my life. Like, yeah. I still like, it's like haunts me, but like in a like, no, whatever, you were learning kind of way. And yeah, and she was so sweet. She was like, okay, I can tell you guys have a lot of Broadway experience. And I was like, no, this is country. And she's like, I can tell you have a lot of experience with Broadway and performing. Now we're going to get you, like, if you want to do country, great, but you've got to, like, So anyway, we showed her a couple different songs. She was so amazing. We talked forever. And yeah, and then from there, it basically was like, if you want to do this, you can, but this is how hard you have to work. Here's the competition. And not like competition like, oh, like dog eat world, but just more like, this is the bar, I guess I should say. That's a better word for it, I think. Like, here's the standard of excellence, and like, it's like those people who are like constantly, I'm not super sporty, but what is it in the Olympics? Like they like jump over that like really tall.
Oh,
like,
yes. High jumper,
whatever.
I
What
don't
I'm talking
know.
about? Like, yeah, whatever. You can tell we're in music, but I feel like it's like that, right? Where it's like you have to know that bar to know, like, not just to meet it, but to like jump over it.
Yeah.
And then it's constantly being raised, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it really leveled the playing field now with the internet, and it's like more and more and more people have access to writing music and recording music and releasing music and yeah, just being involved in that world. So more people are doing it, so the bar just gets higher and higher and higher. I can totally see that. What do you do mostly now? Do you write for others? Do you have your own project, or what's
a little bit of both, but I would say mostly writing for other artists.
Okay.
And just like trying to help them write what's on their heart,
Yeah. So okay. Because this is what we did, right? Like I was like the artist and you were like, I don't know how, but you were somehow put to like write with me, assigned to write with me, right? So we showed up to Matt's studio and
shout out to Matt Bronley. He's amazing.
He is the bomb. I remember I brought Grant, my husband. I brought him down once to meet Matt when we were recording vocals. This was like a year after we wrote the songs.
Yes.
And so Grant watched him work while I was in the studio, like in the vocal booth. And we left that session and Grant was like, that man is a friggin' wizard. He works so fast and is so good. Grant is not easily impressed, but man, was he impressed. So he loved Matt too. I love Matt. Matt is fantastic.
Yes, Matt is amazing. I love any chance I get to write with him.
Yes.
He's great.
So, what we did was we were the three of us in Matt's studio. Matt created the track. I mean, first we had a chat about what do we want to write about. And I would usually come in with a song title and an idea of what that song could be about.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Like no lyrics, no melodies, no track, no chord progression, no nothing, right? Just an idea and a song title. And then Matt would be like, all right, cool, got it. He would just create a track on the spot out of nothing. Again, wizard. And then you and I would, come up with lyrics and melodies to go over that track. Essentially what we were doing is top lining, right? And correct. Matt was the producer for the track and all that stuff. So we were top lining. And I did not know that that's what people did, top lining. I didn't even know that top lining existed. Like I had no clue. And so my question for you is, what do your sessions with all these artists look like now? Is it similar, or do you ever also create chord progressions? Do you mostly just top line? What does it look like?
It depends on the session. So I would say probably a balance of both, a mix of both. Okay. I think there's like beauty and adjective, like especially for artists. I think it's important to have a mix of how you write.
Okay.
Because when you're just top lining, like you're saying, it's great, but sometimes it can be a crutch because you get so dependent on the track. And sometimes like, I hate to say names because I could be wrong, but I want to say it was maybe like Luke Bryan or somebody that was, but maybe don't quote me in case it's not, but it was a famous male country artist. Let's say that. But one time he was like, oh man, this song is awesome. And somebody in his camp was like, no man, that song is crap. And he's like, no man, listen, it's so great. And the guy finally like stripped back the track and was like, listen to the song, played it on guitar. And he's like, oh, you're right. That's garbage. Not that it was like the worst song in the world, but because the track was so fun, it kind of like disguised the more mediocre average lyric melody, right? And so like writing with a track is amazing if you can also make sure your lyrics and melody are matching that. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
And so I know like that's kind of like a tangent to what you asked, but I think that's super important since a lot of people I'm guessing that listen to this are artists. Like I think that's super important to be considerate of and be mindful of balancing how you write so that it like shakes things up,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so that you don't get too dependent on one way. So that is one way I still write a lot. So I'll go in with a producer just like we did with you, and it'll mostly just be the melody and lyrics that we have to worry about. I would say though a good chunk of what I'm doing is me at the piano, even if it's meant to be a guitar song. Me at the piano with the artist, deciding the chords, deciding the melody, deciding the tempo, deciding the rhythm, and then using our imaginations to go, what would we want this to sound like? A la which song can we hear? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so we'll put in like production notes in the little Google Doc of our lyrics and say, we could hear this sounding like fill in the blank. Consider this tempo or this style of production or string section or whatever, and reference different songs. So that way, when it goes to a producer, they have like a little
guideline, like an idea of what you want it to be.
Because it's not like, I mean, ultimately, we're not the producer once it leaves our hands. It's like your baby, right? You're just like, oh my gosh, I really love you with blonde hair, but if you end up with purple hair, love you too, you know? But like, yeah, you kind of have hopes for what you want your song babies to sound like and look like and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we try to put in those production notes just to help guide, like you're saying, and give some reference of what we were hearing as we wrote it.
Okay.
So that's another way of songwriting, is just doing it stripped down, bare bones, no track. It's just going to be a rough work tape. And a lot of times it's not even a studio work tape where it's like punch in, punch out. It's literally like your voice memo on your iPhone to just say, record, and we'll do a few takes. And after that, we're done. And you just pick your favorite one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you mostly work with or like write with the artist, or do you ever also just write songs for people?
I do both, but I would say 90-something% is with that artist now.
With the artist. Okay.
Just because it's just labels and the change in the industry. Like there are certain artists, like Celine Dion does not care if her name is on a song. She will take outside songs all day long. But for the most part, I would say all these up and coming artists, the labels are going to want them on there. They want to be on there, right? Because they have something to say. I think a lot of artists now are coming from a place of wanting to say something more than just, I love my voice and I want it to be heard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I was still in that generation. I still just wanted to sing.
And you know what? And I love that. I love that because then you're just getting like these killer voices, right? So there's beauty to both. Like, I'm not knocking that. I love it. I love the people who just want to sing because their voice is that good, you know?
See, I think my voice is not good enough to be just a singer. So I was like, all right, I got to learn how to write.
Hey, you know what? Whatever you want.
But these artists that you write with, especially like the up and coming ones, right? Like they don't have a hit song yet. They're just kind of like starting out. How experienced with songwriting are these artists?
I would say it depends. There are some that really actually blow me away and I go, wow, you are a true songwriter. And then there are others that have something to say but have never explored expressing it in songwriting. So something you already mentioned earlier, I try, unless it's like, you know, I can't get a hold of the artist or whatnot, I try really hard to ask the artist to bring in a short list of titles that they want to write, because it helps me a couple things. It helps me get to know the artist. I do two things. I say, send me some songs you love that you wish you had written, just like one or two, or a sound that you love for you. Which sometimes can be funny because artists are like, I don't sound like anyone, right?
Yeah.
I sound like myself.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. So people that, you know, songs they wish they had written or the sound, etc. And then the titles. And the reasons for the titles are because it helps me see a little bit into who they are currently. Depending on the nature of their titles, you can kind of tell. Are they in a happy place? Are they in a dark place? Are they in a super confident place? Or are they in a vulnerable place? Like you can just really get to know an artist. Sorry, it looks like I'm waving. I just realized that. You're like seasoned pro at this, but little newbie over here. Anyway, so you get to know them through their song titles, but also it gives them a feeling of like, I'm participating in this songwriting because they brought the title.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, it gives them a chance to be like, this is what's on my heart. And so even if they don't yet know how to craft that, they can feel like they actually did have a part in the songwriting because they did. Because the title is huge, right? The title is going to shape your song. It's going to tell the story. It's going to give you like a launching board. It's going to drive all your lyrics to that hook. And
I'm just looking up my song 5,000 Miles right now. Credits. Yeah. There you are. Yep, you're on here. Okay. Because when you're like, I'm trying to see what state of mind is this artist in right now, and you remember I'm from Switzerland, right?
Yes.
But do you?
No, and I remember why we wrote this. Now that you're bringing up that title.
Yep, 5,000 Miles. I got interrogated by the immigration officers in the Chicago airport like a week before our writing session. And so I came down to Nashville to write with you, and I was like, guess what just happened to me? We should write a song about this. And we did. And do you want to know the funniest thing? That song was never released as a single. It was never submitted to songwriting contests like White Lies that we wrote. But it is the song with the most streams of my album.
That's so interesting. Yeah, you never know which ones are going to go.
It is crazy. But I truly, when people message me about it, like today still, I have like people that message me about like my music or a song that they found. And I'm like, where the heck did you find this? It's been 8 years. But when people message me, they almost always message me about 5,000 Miles. It's almost always that song. Yeah.
Well, and I think too, you can kind of hear the heart.
Yes.
Because if I remember right too, besides the immigration experience, it was also because you were having a long distance relationship, right?
It was going to be a long distance relationship if they would take me and deport me.
So like, because like So, Switzerland versus, the States. And so I think you could feel that in the lyrics. You have that like angst and vulnerability of sharing that, and people relate when you share your heart.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
what people want people to share their hearts.
yes And I definitely would say that was my most vulnerable song, where I put in all of my heart, my emotion, my everything, much more so than the others. Doesn't mean that the other songs didn't mean anything to me,
right?
But they were not that raw. Maybe that's the right way to put it. And I know, like, I think for a lot of people who are just getting started with songwriting, it can feel so hard to really be so vulnerable in what you're writing because you don't want people to judge you, right? Yeah. But there can be
like we'll have times where someone will tell me the juiciest story and I'm like, let's write that. And then they're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'll be so mortified if this person hears it. They'll know it's about them. I'm like, who cares? Yes. It's a great story. We'll change the names.
Yes.
Like no one has to know. And they're like, they will know, right? So it's like getting over that hump to go, okay, am I willing to expose that part of my heart? And put it out there, right? Like, and I'm not talking like be nasty to people. I'm not saying that. But just like to share your story in a way that is authentic because that's what people connect with and resonate. You know, when they can tell when it's and that's like experience from the stage. People could tell like the songs we were singing, there were certain ones that like if I was going through a breakup or if I was in love or if whatever it was at the time, people afterwards in the show, you know, they would come up afterwards and be like, oh my gosh, that particular one.
Yeah.
Right. And it was usually whatever was going on in my life at that time where they could really feel that extra emphasis, right? That I didn't really realize I was putting on that song, but yet they could sense that and feel that like energetically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it translates.
So,
well, one thing that I'm hearing you say is you really, like when you first, especially when you first meet someone, like a new artist that you're writing with, you really try to get to know them and have them tell you stories. So like, you know, they have a title like 5,000 miles or whatever. And they're like, all right, cool. Tell me the story around this. Like why 5,000 miles? What happened? What's going on? And I have a four-step lyric writing formula that I use myself to write songs, but that I'm also teaching to our students when they, you know, first learn about songwriting, because I've always been a terrible lyric writer. I would always struggle very much to put my thoughts and emotions out there on a piece of paper. And then I always also say, you know, English second language over here. My vocabulary is limited. And, you know, it's like, all right, you know, it is what it is. But this 4-step lyric writing formula really, really helped me. And step 2 in that formula is topic writing. So just basically, you know, you have your topic or your song title or whatever, and then you just write about that topic, or you have a conversation with someone around that topic. So you can really get all of your thoughts and all of your emotions and all of your feelings and everything on a piece of paper before you start writing lyrics, before you map out the song or anything. Because I feel like a lot of people, and it's, again, myself included, when I first started out, I would have like an initial idea and then just immediately start writing lyrics, and I would always get stuck somewhere. And then the lyrics would be very meh, you know?
Okay.
And so this really helped me, because a lot of times I would just pull lyrics from that topic writing. And I remember when we were writing 5,000 miles too, you know, you were like, all right, well, walk me through step by step what happened. And the lyrics are literally like frozen in a crowded room full of strangers. Where are you? I think something like that is like the first verse. And like, I literally remember describing that room to you. And we were like, all right, here's the verse, right? And like, we just used those words. I feel like a lot of times people want to sound very poetic and clever. And I'm like, well, actually, can we just tell the story?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to
be clever. And if you can do both, great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you can tell the story in a way that's like super full of visual and imagery, I love it. Right. And then sometimes, like, I was just listening to a song on the radio today that I was like, there is no visual imagery in here, but I'm still hooked.
Really?
It felt good. Right. And so, like, you know, I think you got to learn the rules before you break them, kind of thing. And I think, like, I would always encourage artists to really dig into good lyrics, because you can always trim back and go, you know, not visual and not imagery, but boy, is it nice to have some good furniture and not just tell me you had a couch, but like, what did it smell like? What did it look like? What was the color? You know, was it faded? Was it your grandma's? Like, did it squeak when you sat down, you know? So I don't know. I think I love the topic writing. I remember a songwriting camp I went to when we hadn't even moved. My family hadn't even moved to Nashville yet. My brother and I just came out for the songwriting camps through NSAI. And not that this is a plug for NSAI. I love NSAI, but not like they're not like sponsoring or anything. It's just, that's where a lot of my early songwriting camps and, you know, experiences came from. But I remember them saying, like, every morning, just keep a notepad by your bed. And before your like feet hit the floor, just literally do like a free write for like 2 to 5 minutes. And like, don't tell yourself what to write. It's literally just like whatever comes to head. So it's just like almost like a stream of consciousness. Is it, or conscious? What is it? Stream of conscious?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's either conscience or consciousness, whatever.
Yeah.
It starts with the letter C. Just like write, you know, and just because then all of a sudden you can go back and circle certain words that you're like, oh my gosh, that could be a really cool title. Or, oh, wow, that was actually like, this connects here. And you kind of start like, playing little.
So glad you're talking about
searching.
this, because that's literally what we do when we do topic writing, right? I was like, all right,
Yeah,
you're going to
well, that's
have.
what it reminded me of with the topic writing.
You have your title in there. You probably have a lot of lyrics in there. You might have like an overall theme in there that you can then find relative words for to make your lyrics sound more clever. And, there's like all these things that you can do, but just practicing getting your thoughts out on a piece of paper. I really think this is why so many people, struggle with like anxiety and similar kinds of emotions, where we don't know how to process our own thoughts and feelings anymore, because we always distract ourselves with this beautiful thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my phone and it comes with me everywhere I go, and I am very much addicted to it. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not. But it's a beautiful thing, but also a little bit of a dangerous thing, where it's like we never process our thoughts and our emotions anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people feel anxious underneath, because they don't really know what's going on. And this stream of consciousness writing that you said in the morning, that can really help with that. Journaling can help with that, which is, I guess, is something similar to that. Or then the topic writing, when you're sitting down to write a song, which is so exciting.
And I think this is basically what you're saying, topic writing, but someone else would tell me if this is what you're saying. Actually, let me make sure that we're talking the same thing, because someone also told me at one of those camps to be like, pick a topic and then write everything you can about just that topic. So like you could say like red car or whatever, or like gas station.
That would be like object writing.
Okay.
Right?
So
like when you're...
That's what I was trying to figure out with your topic, if that's what you meant. But that's another way to do it, right? Where it's just kind of like, it's just a random thing and then just...
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That's object writing. And that's definitely also a great way to go about it. Coach Juliana on our team likes to talk about object writing as well, because she says it really helps her figure out different ways of saying the same thing, right? And not just like kind of the first thing that comes to mind, but then also figure out, well, how else can I just describe this object, this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then...
Or write a story about it.
Or write a story
Make up
about
a
it.
story, right? Like, hey, what happened at the gas station? Was this where they broke up? Was this where he found this person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he find a wallet on the ground and it, like, I don't know. The world's your oyster. Make up a story.
You know what's funny? Grant. That's the only person I hang out with, so that's why I talk about Grant a lot. But he loves listening to fiction books to fall asleep to. And when he's on vacation, he just listens to audiobooks, and that's just what he likes to do. But always fiction, not like self-help books or whatever. He doesn't like that. Just fiction books. And then one night we were laying in bed, and he said, "You know what I find so interesting? And what I just really don't understand how people do it. I don't understand how they write books. I don't understand how they can just come up with all of these ideas and just make up these stories." And I was like, what do you mean you don't? He's such an engineer, so like math focused and following rules, and it's so interesting how it can be so foreign for people to just make things up, make up your own story, be a little kid again, right? And play pretend, essentially.
It's great. There are so many ways to get like ideas. But I think for me, regardless of like, in terms of writing, sure, you could start with a melody. Sure, you can start with a chord progression. But ultimately, I really want to know what that hook is and that title is before I get too far down the road. I know some people start just noodling and then whatever title falls out as it falls out, fine. But for me, I want to know where I'm driving to, because then I know where to steer the car. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like I'm on an ocean and wherever the wind blows, which is great. Like, it does work. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I think for a lot of aspiring artists, especially if they're new to songwriting, it's really helpful to have somewhere to point to, like a little end goal. Because then what happens is it's going to influence. You're like, oh, wait, okay, this is like 5,000 miles. Sure, we could have made it a happy like pop song, but that wasn't your story, right? So because we knew that's what it was, we knew it would influence, like Matt could go, oh, this is going to be a more emotionally charged ballad versus like this dance, like whatever, right? And then we knew how to like set up the verses and the chorus, because every line, like that's another thing I learned. They're like the test of a good title and a good song is if like every line can like lead to the hook. So if you're like, there was this song that called Billboard Girl that I wrote with my brother Doug and then one of my good buddies, Garen Brett, and like literally every single line went straight to the title, and it won the grand prize of the International Songwriting Contest for NSAI and CMT, which was funny because CMT's country, but they were so like impressed with the actual lyrics. They're like, what in the world? Like, we don't care that this is like super pop. Like, this is incredible writing. And that was like one of those things where I'm like, wow, you really can read every single line of this lyric and it's leading you to the hook.
Do you mind showing us the example? Do you remember?
Okay, I'm trying to think. Like, another blind date with another Mr. Another blind date with another Mr. Calvin Klein. The man's just consumed with himself and a waitress named Michelle throwing down pickup lines. So it's like Billboard Girl, right? Mm-hmm. He wants a Billboard Girl. So every line's leading to that. I see this ending early. See this ending early as he puts her number in his phone. I reach for my purse in my coat or keys in my coat, something like that. And I ask if we can go, and he says, what for? And then the chorus is, I think you want a Hollywood smile. Gosh, this has been years. What is it? I think you want a Hollywood smile like the covers of a magazine aisle. Think you want a trophy girl to hold. I'm not a Barbie, I won't fit that mold. Tomorrow she'll be yesterday's news. Walking out the same door she came through. And I'm not that Billboard girl.
Wow,
and so,
okay.
But do you see what I'm saying? Where it's like you could go, every single line was straight to Billboard Girl. Like, it wasn't like, oh, where are they going with this story? Veering to the left or right. It was like, it kept going, you know? And then Garen came in with a really cool, like some pop jazz chords, you know, that really helped that as well. But anyway, so that's just like a random example of if you can get your songs where like every line, the hook pays off, where you could read a line and then read the title and it makes sense, then you're on the right track.
Okay. I've never even thought about that. I'm going to see if any of my songs do that or if I need to start rewriting.
You're like, Kayliann, we're rewriting all of them. We didn't hit the nail on the head.
Hey, we won the John Lennon songwriting contest.
Yeah.
I think we did
That's what
okay.
I'm saying. So even if we didn't know the rules, then you can break them. So
yes. Well, know the rules so you can break them. What would you say, like, you know, for people listening and they're new to songwriting, what would you say are some of the most important songwriting rules?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think it's different for everyone, but like, have something like, again, drive to the hook. I think that's such a rule. Like when you think about, like, Taylor Swift is such a master at all of her lyrics lead you to that hook. They're always paying off that title. So, you know, I would honestly say, I don't know if this is a rule, but a suggestion is make a list of like 10 songs that you wish you would have written and then study the heck out of them and go, what's their rhyme structure? What's their song structure? Is it verse, chorus, bridge, chorus? Or is it verse, bridge, which is probably more country than pop? But you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, see what is it? Is it the chords that you like? Is it the beat that you like? Is it the melody? Like, what's their arc? Is it like, are the verses down here and then the melody pops? Are the verses up here and the melody goes down? There needs to be, you know, it's like kind of a roller coaster, right? Like, you don't want everything just same. Here's my melody and I never change and it never goes up or anything, you know?
Yeah. Contrast.
Also, like,
we need
rhythm.
some contrast.
Yeah, like the contrast and all that stuff. Like, just like really analyze. I think I analyzed probably 60 different songs, just trying to see like, And I did this. I did two different things. I analyzed songs I loved, and then I analyzed the number one songs of that entire year on the country chart and on the pop chart, whatever genre you're hoping to write in. Analyze those songs, because there's a reason why some of them are going number one, right? Maybe there are some politics involved, but ultimately a great song is going to make its way. And so if you can analyze those and go, oh, this is what they're using. This is, you know, these are the rhymes. This is how long it is. Like, I literally picked it apart, every single song. And it just kind of helps like scrub your ears and retrain and rewire your brain to look at songs in a different light. And it is a business, right? Like you said, it's a career, it's a profession. So like, you have to treat it as such. And that doesn't mean you lose the magic of it, but you do have to treat it seriously to go, oh yeah, like I'm not just here throwing paint as a wall for a hobby. If you're doing it for a hobby, knock yourself out. But if you're wanting to like play with the big guys, like you've got to know there are things. So that's what I would say, like say with the rules, look at what's going on in this year's music, because the rules kind of change a little bit each year. And maybe rules is not the right word, but hopefully you catch
absolutely.
You catch my drift.
This is actually the second thing that we teach people in our Songwriting for Singers program, and it's like super beginner friendly, right? This is for people that they have a bunch of ideas, but they don't really know how to turn them into songs, or they started, but they always get stuck, and they don't really know how to initially get the idea from here onto an actual piece of, like not a piece of paper, but like an actual song, right? And so the first thing is like, well, let's figure out what you like. Because we teach voice lessons, I work with a lot of different singers, and a lot of them, like I would ask them before we start singing, well, what do you like to listen to? And then they usually say everything. A lot of them say everything. And I'm like, all right, well, give me a couple artists, a couple bands that you like. And then really quickly, I'm like, no, you like a very particular thing, but okay. A lot of people just have no idea what they like. And so, you know, the first thing.
And sometimes it takes the exploring to discover what you like.
Exactly.
So I love that you're asking that question. Like you're getting curious about the person so they can then get curious about themselves.
Yes.
So anyway.
And a part of that is writing down, same like you said, you know, tell me a couple songs that you wish you wrote. That is on that list of questions to like figure out what do you even like. That's on there as well. So they ask themselves all these questions. And then the next step 2 is, alrighty, let's go analyze all these songs and figure out what about those songs do you like? And I guess we don't go as nitty gritty as what you were doing with like the timing, like how long is each phrase and the whole song and then each section. And but we do analyze what is the rhythmic structure, obviously, but also, and the rhyme structure is what I was trying to say. Sorry, the rhyme structure.
But even rhythm too, I would say.
Rhythm and
because
melody.
If things are like super the whole time, it's obnoxious. So you need like a balance of like, get you some long notes, but then get some fun rhythms in there, right? So I love that you accidentally said that, because I love the rhythm. I love analyzing rhythms as well.
You know how you have like ABAB rhymes or ABBA or AABB or whatever. A lot of people know that about rhymes because that's kind of what we learn in school, in like English class or whatever language, right? We learn that in school already. But a lot of people don't understand that you can do the same thing for melodies. So you can see what is the structure of these melodies, which ones repeat, which ones are different. And just kind of like not even looking at or listening to the song, but just looking at what is that melodic structure. It's almost like, I can kind of sing this song to you now, even though I have no idea what it sounds like. But like it would be something similar, at least.
You could draw it too. Some people, if you're visual, you know, you could draw the melody that you're hearing. Seeing where it dips, where it goes high. You know,
I love that.
I've seen people do that too. And that kind of just gives you that idea to where you realize it's not all flatlined.
I actually do that when I teach singers how to riff. I would like make them draw out the riff. Usually we would use like little bars, like each bar is a note. So we can see, is it going up? Is it going down? Is it the same note? Is there a big jump, a smaller jump? And then that way you can do it without knowing how to read music or write down music, right? You don't need to know any theory or anything. You can just rely on your ears and then draw it out. And so I never considered about drawing out the melodies that you're writing. I only ever considered doing this for riffs, but that makes so much sense. Oh, thank you for that. I'm going to start using that too. To visualize the melodies that I write.
I'm glad one thing can be helpful.
More than one thing, let me tell you. Well, okay, so here's a weird thing. When I was putting together this Songwriting for Singers program, I was going through all of my old songs that I wrote, not the ones on the album, but other songs that I wrote by myself, and was just like, okay, well, do I remember these songs? Because they're 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, do I remember any of these? And funny enough, the ones that I finished, I remember all of them. The ones that I didn't finish, I was like, I don't really, or like I would remember a little bit of it, but I'm like, I don't remember how the verse goes and whatnot. But I would remember a lot of these songs. And one song on there, I just was thinking about again today, like literally 30 minutes before we hopped on this podcast recording. And it's called Fireflies, because I had never seen fireflies in my life until it was technically my second date with Grant. And he took me to a 4th of July party, and it was out in the country, in the cornfields. And
a little different than Switzerland.
It was very different. We don't have fireflies in Europe. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because the entire field lit up with millions of fireflies, and it created these beautiful waves. Like it almost looked like an ocean moving, because they would like blink. It was incredible. I loved it. So I found this song again, and I was like, I like the idea of the song so much, but it's just not. I created a verse refrain song out of it rather than like a regular like chorus song. And I'm like, all right, let's see if we can change the melodies of this and like rewrite this, but still keep that same idea. So again, literally like 30 minutes ago, I pulled up YouTube and typed in like type beats so I could find some tracks to write to. And I found a country track that was like, because I literally talk about like Indiana and sunset, like it could totally be a country song, right? And then I just kind of started rewriting the melodies and the lyrics a little bit to that, like so that it would work with this country track that I found. And I'm like, okay, I like this a lot better. It's still like not great, but I already like it a lot better. So maybe I will go and finish up that song.
I love it. Yeah, because rewriting, I mean, that's where it's at. What do they say? That's where the money's at. I think that's what they say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the songs that end up getting recorded are the ones that were rewritten. Not always, but a lot of times. So
yeah, I mean,
at least like all the songs I've had on radio, I think we've rewritten at least a little bit of them.
Okay.
And so for what it's worth.
No, I think a lot of people...
There is value in rewriting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that the first thing that they write needs to be great, and it is like, yes, this is going to be the song. And I think it's more important to just get your thoughts and everything on the piece of paper first, and then like, all right, now I have the outline of the song, like I have the melodies, I have the lyrics. Now I can go in and edit and make tweaks to it and make it better. I know it's so hard to just not get stuck in the thing that you already created, because once you have it in your head, it's hard to
forget it.
Yes.
And hear something different.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about that, like for people with books or even kids in college. Like, can you imagine being like, okay, go write your essay. The first thing that comes out, it has to be flawless. Boom. Like, are you kidding me? No professor would expect that, right?
Yeah. That is a great comparison.
Like, of course you're going to get it out and then be like, hey, what do I love about it? Okay, maybe I want to move some puzzle pieces around to make it fit better. Maybe I'm going to just take this out completely, this paragraph out of the essay, right? Like, I feel like so many other careers and not just careers, but like what people do in terms of writing are so lenient to be like, of course you're going to revise and edit and redline and all this stuff. But then when it comes to songs, it's like, don't touch it. It's like, of course you're going to touch it. Like,
yes.
Make it better. You know, every once in a while, a song is going to fall out and you don't have to touch it. But a good chunk of times, you're going to need to redline some stuff. And you have to be okay with like redlining your baby, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not personal.
Yeah.
Not personal. But
That-
it feels so personal.
Right. It's like, that
It
nose
feels-
was a little crooked. Let's make that a little bit more straight.
I just did a writer's round with Tony Martin. He is he has like 16 or 17 number one hits in country music.
Wow.
And he's getting inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in like, I guess a week, I think. Yeah, because it'll be October. So anyway, I'm doing this writer's round with him, and he was talking about how he's like, you know, your songs are like your children, right? Everyone feels that. He's like, some of them actually grow up to go on and make a living. And then some of them, he's like, some of them stay in your basement because they're too artsy, you know? And he's like, you got to be okay with being like, hey, let me give you a launching board to actually make a living, you know?
Yeah.
And not just like be like, but this is mine. It's like, great, you can have that. It's going to be living in your basement the rest of your life. So figure out what you want.
Yeah.
Do you want it to go earn a living, or do you want it to live in your basement? So
I
thought
love that. Thank you so much, Kayliann. Not just for coming on here, but also for, you know, really kind of like showing me how it's done 8-9 years ago, whenever that was. And, you know, for writing these amazing songs with me. I'm really like the songs that we created there. I was like, wow, yeah, like just that, the writing process and the songs, like how they turned out was just such a beautiful experience. And I was like, wow, like we did this. We created something out of nothing. This is incredible. So I loved that experience, you know, even though I'm really no longer at all pursuing an artist career or anything like that. I really love being in the coaching world. This is where I feel very, very at home.
But don't you feel like you doing that allows you, like you have more, not just experience, but perspective. You have a different perspective on how to coach.
Well, duh.
Whereas had you never done that, you would just, you know,
100%.
It'd be a different type of coaching, right?
No, 100%. And that's why I'm so grateful that I got to do it, because it showed me what the real world looks like. Because like we learn a lot in school about you got to do this and you got to do that, and then you go and do your job and you're like, nothing I learned prepared me for this. Thank you very much.
Yes. and people think that's just in the music, but that's real life, just parenthood, marriage, anything, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh yeah, wait, I thought I had it figured out. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Psych,
you got to go and live it and do it. And so that's why I'm so grateful that I got to have this experience, even though, you know, I realized, maybe I don't want to be the next Lady Gaga, because that sounds exhausting.
Yeah. But you have to show up to figure it out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's half the battle. Just show up. Like to all these artists and songwriters, just show up, start doing it, because you'll figure out what you really want. And for some people, it is like, oh my gosh, I want to be an artist. I have no desire to write. Or I want to be an artist and I want to write what's on my heart. Or, you know what? I actually, like you said, I don't actually want to be the next Lady Gaga. I don't actually want to do that. But I do want to write, or I do want to coach, or whatever. Like it's just, I feel like you show up and magic happens, and it just leads you to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And there might
I
be
think,
some hardships along the way, because like I went through
sure.
an entire identity crisis when I realized that maybe I actually don't want to do this, because my entire life I was like, I'm going to be a star in Hollywood, period.
Yeah.
Right?
Aw.
And then I was
that's so hard when you have that pivot and that realization.
I felt so guilty. And also, you know, towards my parents, because I was so lucky to have such supportive parents that were like, like you go follow your dreams. Like, let's go do this. But, you know, I was like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't want to disappoint them. And I don't want to disappoint myself. And I don't want people to think I quit because I'm not good enough and I can't make it, you know, but I just didn't want to do it anymore. And so I went through a whole identity crisis, and it took me months. Like it took me more than a year to be like, all right, Lara, like you don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. Like you are allowed to pivot and do something else. So it's not easy, but you got to show up to figure that out. Like you said, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had a similar experience when, right before I got married, and I had finished with my family, like performing, like after 25 years, you know, of doing it. And I met with some record labels, and we were looking into the solo artist route, and I just kept going, do I actually want this? Like, I love singing. I love performing. Like, put me on a stage, I am at home. Like, it is my happy place. But I had grown up performing and touring all over. And at some point I was like, I'm down the road when I have kids, which I do now, I'm like, I don't want to be gone 10 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And so I knew like all the different steps, like to really hustle and make it as an artist. And if you're doing radio tours and all these different things. And also coming from the variety show I came from, I loved all the styles of music. So how the heck am I going to pick one genre, and not just one genre, but within, say, if I chose country, what kind of country?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What kind of female country artist? Is it more the Dolly Parton, or is it more the Carrie Underwood big vocal? Right? Like or Martina McBride at the time, whoever. And so I think the cool part though is all of this stuff is a training ground for the next thing, whether you land in this or not. And it's just worth it. You show up, and like you said, it is hard, but once you start realizing what you really want, all of a sudden that hard stuff is worth it, because you're like, oh, this is par for the course. Like, I have to work hard at this. Because for example, I don't know how long this is, so I'll hurry quick.
No, go ahead. I have all the time.
If it cuts off at a certain time.
No, it doesn't.
But like, coming from the Showtown I was in, a lot of these amazing artists were there, but they were there to retire. And so there was like this amazing energy. I loved it. It was so cool. And then when you move to Nashville, no one here was looking to retire. They're all looking to launch. So there's a totally different energy, right?
Yes.
It's like both are great places. It's just, what were you trying to do? And so when I moved to Nashville, it was like, holy cow, if I'm going to do this, I have to do it, because these other people are literally starving themselves to make ends meet, right? Like, they are busting their chops to like play these crazy gigs downtown, like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and all this stuff, just to like get seen and get noticed and all these things. And then going to the, oh gosh, if you've never been to a country music session, like a tracking session, anyone listening, do yourself a favor and come to a tracking session in Nashville. It will blow your mind. These musicians literally hear a work tape one time through, maybe not even the whole way through. And then they go and record a song that literally sounds in one pass like a real record. Like, it's not like they are so gifted and so locked in what they do in their craft. And so when you see that talent and you see that level, that standard, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what it takes if I want to play with the big guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. I think it's so great to explore and see what you love and see where you land, because it's always worth it. Like, I feel like anything, regardless, it's always going to be worth it if you just show up and, see what happens.
Yeah.
And see what feels right and stuff. And that's kind of where I've landed right now. Do I still love doing solo stuff? You bet. So I'll do some film and TV things. I have some Providence Falls, I think, is a song coming out on Providence Falls this fall. And I think it's Hallmark. Don't quote me on it. But meaning like a solo project for me, right? Like it's on there. But then I crave and thrive off of helping developing artists and signed artists say what's on their heart. Because like, sure, could I write just what's for radio? You bet. But like, it's not as satisfying and fulfilling. And so if you can get that, like, say what's on their heart, and then it lands on radio, it's a sweet spot for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or film and TV, whatever. Like some of our songs, I was telling you before we started, I'm like, wait a second, I just saw, this is like airing in other countries. Like, congrats
I
to
had
you,
no idea.
Like, it's a big deal. Yeah, I was looking at my BMI royalties, and I was like, wait a second, I've got like payments coming in from like other countries for some of our songs we've done together. So I don't know. It's kind of a random tangent, but it's just like, you got to want it more than anything. But then you've also got to be okay to pivot, like, and be flexible.
Yeah.
If the road takes a different turn, and just be grateful for the ride and be excited about it, because really cool stuff happens all along the way, even if it's not exactly like how you said, you initially grew up thinking this is what you're going to do. You're going to be the Lady Gaga type thing. And it's like, but now look at how fulfilled you are in a different way, you know?
Yeah, very different,
So-
but very happy.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
so
it
cool.
also had to do with other like life circumstances too. That's when I met Grant, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, well, actually, I want to have a life with him and not be on the road. Like you said, you know, you wanted to have kids and you don't want to be gone 10 months out of the year. So what's next for you?
I'm still doing the radio jingles for iHeartRadio. So for people, I mean, tons of them all over the country, but like Z100 in New York, Kiss FM in LA, and then just all of them scattered throughout. Yeah. I'll have to check and see if there's one in your hometown so I can tell you. I'll be like, tune into this station. But so I still do that, and I still record for like vocals for writers here who need a female vocalist, so that like they'll hire me to record so they can pitch their song to, say, Kelsey Ballerini or Lainey Wilson or whomever, right? Yeah. Anyone who's going to take an outside song. And then a good chunk of it is just when my kids are at school, or I've got a little 6-month-old, so when he's napping, I jump on writing sessions with artists. And so it's fun. It's just, I feel like about monthly now I'm seeing artists releasing songs, and I'll get messages and be like, hey, I'm releasing this, or hey, this one just got placed in this movie, or hey, and it's just such a joy, right? Like, it's just like, if I can play a small part in somebody else's dream and somebody else's story, it's really, really thrilling. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. I'm in, what do they call it? Like, I'm a mom writer.
Yeah.
Where I'm momming it up, and then I'm writing while they're, you know.
Well, when
at
you
school
say
and
you
stuff.
hop on a session, is that like a Zoom session or?
Yeah. So sometimes they'll come to the house, and then sometimes I'll Zoom in. Zoom really became normal after COVID, honestly, like, or during COVID.
Yeah.
Because everyone wanted to still connect and write, but there was no way to get together, you know, and so we started Zooming, and that's become a thing.
Wow. That's really cool,
so-
because I think a lot of people are like, I can't co-write with anybody because I live in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. And you have to put yourself out there. You know, you got to just try and see start locally, see who's in your area, and say, hey, I go to shows, go to different places. Hey, I like that sound of this person. Would you like to write? That's what I did when I first moved here. It's so uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable for at least someone like me. It was like, hi. It's like, you know, they always tell you like, oh, like when you're young, it's like, go be friends on the playground or whatever. And then you're an adult. Like, nobody talks to you about how awkward it is to be like, hi, would you like to be my writing friend? I really like your sound. I think we'd go together. It's like dating, and it's so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, so awkward. So it's just like, but go ask. Like, what's it going to kill you? They're going to say no? Oh, well.
Right.
Move on.
They
you know?
ghost you or say no. That's
Yeah,
the worst thing that
like,
can
oh,
happen.
well. Yeah. But it's like, that's not your person to write with if that's what happens anyway. So it's like, move on. But I would say co-writing is where it's at. Don't lose your ability to write alone, but co-write, because it will open your eyes. It will open your brain. It changes the way you do things. You'll still be you, but just when you co-write with a variety of people, it's like challenging the way you write. And it's allowing you, it's compromise, it's marriage, it's all the things, it's dating, right? It's the whole like, oh, it can't always be my way, right? Which is so hard for creatives and humans in general, I think. But the co-writing, I think, would be my number one thing if I could suggest people. Come with titles. If you don't feel like you're a strong writer, come with titles. It will help so much. And then on top of that, just co-write and see who you jive with and write more with that, you know, and see where it goes. Submit your songs into song contests, all the things like, anyway.
Helped me a lot.
Blah,
Those
blah.
song contests opened a lot of doors for me. So definitely.
Yeah, because it opens doors and then like you meet other people. You can notice. That's another thing I would say is look at who won the song contest. Message them, cold call them on Instagram, right? Like, or not cold call, whatever you call it.
Like DM them.
DMs.
Yeah.
Slide into their DMs. Oh my gosh, it's so cringy. But you know, like slide into their DMs in a musical way and say, hey, I saw you won this contest. So rad. I would love to write with you. You know, like just see. And I don't know.
Doesn't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to ask.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Well, I was so honored to be your co-writer.
Well, thanks for having me along with Matt. That was such a fun period of time.
It was. I would love to do it again, just for shits and giggles, just because.
Yeah.
Be like, let's
and
write
like
another
it was
song.
so magical too in his little tree house. Remember that? Like we called it the tree house. Like it was above the garage, and like it just felt so fun.
He actually
felt like
moved.
we were stealing away.
He moved his studio between when we were writing and then when I went to record. I was like, oh, we're going to a different place now.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that's super
true.
cool.
He did, but it's still like just writing in that. It was, and he had all of his books. You remember color coded?
Yes.
Where it was like they were like. It was really fun. If
Organized.
you looked on the wall.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like blues, then reds, then yellow, whatever.
But it creates a beautiful space, right?
Yeah.
And I think especially when you then step in the studio to record the vocals and whatever it is you're recording, it's nice to have a nice ambiance,
Yeah.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Oh, there's so much. There's so much we could say.
I know,
Another
right?
time.
Another time. There you go. Thank you
Another
so
time.
much, Kayliann, for coming on.
Yeah, you bet.
I appreciate you.
Woohoo.
If people wanted to follow along with your journey, where can they find you?
Instagram. I did have a website, and it is currently in limbo.
Okay.
It, it was like 5 times as expensive to renew, and I was like, no thanks. I'm gonna find a different one.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I was like, whatever. Nobody needs to check my website that badly. Oh, I also do voiceovers. That's been a fun thing to do, to just shake things up. Sorry, that's the only people that check my website usually.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so yeah, Instagram, Kayliann. I think I have like dots after my name because some other person who's not named Kayliann took my handle. So
rude.
And I tried to kindly message them, and it didn't work. Nobody responded.
Oh no.
So
well,
that's okay.
I will link to it so that
That's
people
okay.
can just click on it and follow along to your journey. And cold DM Kayliann and be like, hey, do you want to
There
write
we
with
go.
me?
There we go.
And see what she says.
And if I don't respond, it's because I'm a mom.
Yes.
I'm like, I feel like I'm like, I used to think I was like so young and cool and hip, and now I'm like, wait, what is that term? Is that what the cool kids say these days?
You know what? I'm not even a mom and I feel that way. I'm like, I am so out of the loop. Every so often I have to like text my Gen Z friends and be like,
Yeah.
what does this mean?
My daughter will come home from school. Mom, do you know what this means? I'm like, no, let me Google it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's not use that one.
Yeah. How old is your daughter now?
She's 9 and she plays violin insane.
Well,
Like,
you started her at like 2.
insane.
Like she
No,
was so young.
She was like less than 1 actually.
Oh
It
my
was hilarious.
God. Kayliann,
Yeah.
what?
Well, because that was like what I grew up doing, right? So like we had the violin is the smallest instrument you can put in somebody's hand. And so like before she was 1, boom, I did a solo at like, I think I was 15 months in Palm Springs, California. I played a solo. And then, I did the same for her. She was doing it. I think she was 16 months. We had like our last family show, and she performed on stage all by herself and then clapped for herself after and bowed and loved every second of it, and she's just been crushing it ever since. She's in the Vanderbilt Orchestra here in Nashville, the Vanderbilt University Orchestra, and she's 9, and you just watch her walk out and all these tall high school, seniors coming out and different stuff. And then here's this little 9-year-old
Wow.
popping out. She's in the first violins. And she just...
That is
incredible.
incredible.
It's fun to see. It's fun to be able to share that love of music, with your kids and see them take to it in their own way. So
I can't, under 1, these kids can barely walk at that age.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
No,
Wow.
it's insane. She plays better than I do. And I'm not just saying that. Like, she's excellent. It's so fun.
Wow.
And she just loves it. So
incredible. Well, you're really nurturing
That's
that,
cool.
right? So that she wouldn't have just picked up a violin at 1.
no,
So
I mean,
that's
it helped
amazing.
that that's what, I grew up doing. But
Yeah.
I think sorry, one more thought. I think that's the other thing, though. When people say, oh, well, I had a musical person and I'm not musical. I'm like, but did they expose you to it? Like, did your parents or whoever take you to work with them? Did they show you? Because, I mean, think about people who have like crazy genius scientists for parents. But did they ever take them to the lab? Did they ever talk about it outside of the lab? Do you know what I'm saying? Like there is something to be said about like exposing your children to things that you're passionate about. It doesn't mean that they'll take it, but it's like at least expose them and see where it goes, you know?
And then you got to find that fine line of like exposing, but not pushing them to do something they don't want to do, but you want them to do, right?
Right. Right.
That is a hard thing to balance.
Oh, my little boy, my little 4-year-old, forget it. Like he beats to his own, he like makes his own drum, he beats his own drum, like everything. So like there is no, like my daughter was like all in. My boy is like, I'll do my own thing. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. I love it. It's exhausting, but I love it. Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like you said, the balance and just, but you can tell when somebody's in it. But I think just exposing them, that's half the thing. Expose them to a lot of things. But
and expose yourself to a lot of things, right? Like if you don't have kids, but you want to do this stuff, go do it and expose yourself to it and just absorb it.
The variety is so helpful. The variety is so helpful.
I love it. Thank you so much, Kayliann.
Yes,
you are the most wonderful human being. Ugh, it was so great to see you again after so many years.
Is this Wednesdays? I don't know. Whenever we're recording. Only on Wednesdays am I wonderful.
Oh, no, you're always wonderful. Come on. And, you know, you're all dolled up even though you got 3 kids at home. Like, oh my, 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you just had another one a couple months ago. So
yeah, Henderson.
Yeah.
He's 6 months. So
wow. Well, you've got your hands full. Okay. Well, thank you again.
You
and
bet.
I'll link to your Instagram so people can follow along. And thank you guys for tuning in. Go follow Kayliann and listen to some of her songs because girl can write.
I will send you the link of, I've got a better one than my Instagram. I have a Spotify playlist that I put, your songs are on there. All the artists that release songs, it's like, I think the playlist is like songs I write for other artists or something like that. Wow. And so I put that on there just because it's exciting to see all the little song babies that are out in the universe with other artists. So.
Please send me that playlist. I want to listen to it and link to it for sure as well. But thank you for joining and everybody listening and watching. Thank you for tuning in. There's some songwriting resources in the description below. Go check that out. But otherwise, we'll catch you in the next episode. Alrighty. Bye.
Woohoo.